welcome back to my channel. I'm Courtney. If you guys are new here, I bought my first home in July of 2020. I'm gonna be doing some videos about my experience, what I learned, and hopefully you guys can take something from it, even if it's just a laugh or a little bit of advice. So let's get into the video. It is July 1st, just giving an update. The fun part of buying the house is over. I've just been feeling like my realtor is not, he's not a part of the team. He's not backing me as much as he should. But yesterday I had to put my foot down, let him know this is my purchase, my home. So once you close, that's it. You know, nobody's gonna come back and help you. All right, guys, so today we're gonna be talking about my realtor. He was horrible, to say the least. At least to me, he was. For the purpose of the video, we will call him Bradley. My realtor, Bradley, I met him on May 3rd, which was my birthday. I found a condo on Realtor.com that I really liked. It was priced great. And there was a number at the bottom on Realtor where I could contact someone about the condo. It was Bradley, which ended up becoming my realtor. He told me some information about the condo. It ended up being something that I wasn't interested in after all. And he's like, well, tell me about it. You know, are you just starting your process looking for a home? And I was. You know, he started contacting me after that, sending emails, text messages. Of course, you know, they're like car salesmen. Like once you speak to them, you stuck with them. And he slowly just becomes my realtor. So finally, I find a condo that I really like. And I told him like, hey, I want to go see this condo. So we meet up. He is well-dressed, nice, professional looking, maybe 32, 33. But he told me that the home that he just sold before mine went for like $1.2 million. He wined and dined the customers or the buyers, I guess, for almost a year just to get them to buy this home. It was great. He's just on a high. Like now he's like, let's get it. He was so happy about that home. And I was like, congratulations. That's amazing. First red flag. I'm not buying a $1.2 million home. By no means. So back then I didn't see it as a red flag. I was like, oh, that's so exciting. He must be a really great realtor if he can sell a $1.2 million home. But knowing what I know now, I think that choosing a realtor, it should be somebody that you can relate to, someone that can relate to you. You know, if you're buying a $1.2 million home, that is the realtor for you. But I think with me, he didn't make me a priority later down the line because I wasn't buying a $1.2 million home or close to it. So my sweet, beautiful little home was just pocket change to him, you know? It was his lunch money, you know, for commission. That's how I viewed it, but we'll continue on with the story. The very first time that I met Bradley, he told me that his girlfriend was expecting a baby. So he's like, yeah, the baby should be coming. I'm pretty sure he told me the baby was coming in September. That'll make sense later. That's a big part of the story. So we look at the two condos. Obviously, I didn't pick either because here I am in a single family home. But we looked at the condos. He gave me a good idea of where to go from there. And he said that he would continue to show me more homes and send them through my email. Like, great, cool. We left on good terms, buddies. So I mentioned to him that I am looking for a home on the south side of Jacksonville. That's where I wanted. I work on the side of town. I would like to be on the south side. He continues every day sending me homes on the north side of Jacksonville, the west side of Jacksonville, east side of Jacksonville. And I felt like he just wasn't listening to me. I'm like, why am I even telling you what I'm looking for in a home if you are not sending me homes that relate to that? And he's like, oh, you're not going to find a home in your price range on the south side, like with everything that you want in it. It's just not going to happen. So I'm like, okay. That's the spirit, realtor. So I do give in and look at a home on the north side of Jacksonville. It was a beautiful home. Again, it was too far from where I worked. I personally hate driving. I don't want to drive from here to the corner store if I don't have to. So for work, somewhere I have to go every day, I just don't want to be making that long of a commute. You could just tell he was already getting impatient, and I hadn't even been working with him probably not even 3 full weeks yet. I don't even think it had been 3 weeks yet. So, and again, some people take 6 months to a year to buy a home. This is something that you are investing your money in. It's a huge purchase, one of the biggest purchases you're gonna make in your life. So the fact that you're rushing me to buy a home, I don't like that. So that kind of was another thing that kind of rubs me the wrong way, that I'm like, I don't know about him. But I put up with them, like, you know what, maybe he's right. I started doubting myself. This is my first home. Maybe it really is this hard to find what I want, you know, on the side of town that I want. I go home, I think about it, look at some more homes, and finally I find this home online. I let him know, hey, I want to go check this home out tomorrow, which was on a Saturday. I think it was June 20th. I was like, I really want to go look at this home. He was busy that day. I understand Saturday is a busy day for realtors. You know, I can imagine everybody's off work on Saturdays, or most people are. I'm like, don't worry about it. I'll go to the open house by myself on Saturday. It's not far from where I was living at the time. I'll just come over to the home, do the open house, and I'll let you know if I like it. He said, okay, cool, just let me know. If you saw my first video, the offer gets accepted, blah, 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 moving on. So something to know, when me and Bradley put the offer in for this home, he gave me a call and we went over the contract together. And one of the points that stood out was he told me, under no circumstances can I go under contract with this home with any other realtor. So once I signed that contract with him, if me and him fell out, if, you know, for any reason I just didn't want to work with him anymore, I would not be able to buy this home. I would have to find a whole nother home to go under contract with a different realtor, which I thought was really interesting. I had no idea that that happens. But in the moment, me and him were still on decent terms. So I'm like, yeah, no problem. Put the offer in. No problem. I'll sign it. Like, yeah, I won't go under contract with any other realtor. One, because I'm not starting all over to find another realtor. So we should be good to go. That's where I messed up at, y'all. Our offer is in, we start the process with the inspection. I have the inspection report showing what needs to be fixed on the home. So he's like, yeah, I'll look over it, I'll get back to you. 3 days later goes by. He, you know, calls me. He's like, hey, so tell me the things that you want fixed on the house. Maybe, what, 2 things that I needed fixed, which was a railing for the backyard and the cover to be fixed on the front of the house, on the wiring. He says, cool, no problem. I will draw up the contract and send it over to the realtor, or send it over to the seller's realtor. So I'm like, cool, great. I wait. He finally tells me, hey, it's got approved. He said that he will fix what you need fixed. Great, I'm happy. So I lived at the time maybe 5 minutes from the home that I'm in now, 5-10 minutes from where I am now. And I would just come by and just walk through the gate. You know, my railing is not up for the back steps. So I would check it, it's not done yet. A few times I would text Bradley and tell him, hey, it's still not done yet. Do you know when the seller is gonna do it? He's like, oh, I don't know, like, I'll find out for you. Don't hear back from him. Granted, I could not get homeowner's insurance on this home until I got that fixed. So I finally contact him again and ask him, hey, have you heard anything about the back railing at the home? You know, I'm just double checking. He writes me back and said, I have not heard back from the seller yet. If he doesn't fix it, it would just fall on you. Don't worry about it. It's very cheap. Okay, y'all. Buying a home is so expensive to buy a home. I'm paying for inspections, you know, appraisals, all types of different fees, a down payment, closing costs, all types of things. Like, what? What do you mean it's cheap? I don't care if it's $10. It's $10 coming out of my bank account that the seller already agreed to cover. What? It's cheap? I don't see you putting in any money to help me pay for anything in this house. What you mean? I didn't even furnish the house yet. Listen, y'all. I'm getting hot all over again. Like, you know, you don't tell someone, oh, don't worry, it's cheap. Like, it'll just fall on you. No, everything is falling on me. Like, this is my house. Like, oh, I write him back and I'm like, what do you mean it'll fall on me? He already signed a contract saying that he would pay for it. So he writes me back and he's like, you know what? You're so right. I obviously just need a little bit more sleep. And he's like, I'll take care of it for you. Okay. You get you some sleep, you know? Maybe you have a lot of different clients. You're just a little confused, you know? Maybe that's all it is. I ended up coming back over to the home maybe 2 or 3 days after that. I go to the backyard. I was acting like I already owned this house and I didn't. So I go to the backyard. The railing is up and I'm happy. I'm cool. My realtor never told me, hey, it's done. He never checked on it, anything like that. Now, I hope you guys are keeping up. He did not come to my open house. I did it by myself. Me and him have not came to the house together at all. He has not saw the house. He has not came to the house, anything, right? It's okay. Don't worry about it. It's not a big deal. Also, I had another question, which was the water to the house. Is it city or is it septic? Which I'm so thankful for my dad. He knows about stuff like that. I personally didn't care, but I found out later how important that is. If your water is through a septic tank, obviously you have to have someone come out and empty that tank, which is not cheap. It's $400 to $500 sometimes for you to get that tank, you know, emptied. Not only that, they have to dig the septic tank out of the ground, pump it, you know, or at least dig, I guess, to get into the septic tank. I don't know, but go in, clean it out. It costs money. And, you know, you need to know where your septic tank is. And also you don't want your septic tank to be in your front yard, which is where mine is. And someone drives over it, you know? So it's a very expensive piece of equipment. And then if it's through the city, you know, your water bill may be more expensive, XYZ. I asked Bradley, hey, can you also let me know if the water to the house is city or septic? He says, yeah, I'll get right on it and I'll let you know. Thank you, Bradley. 2 or 3 days go by. Hey, Bradley, just checking in, asking if the water is city or septic. Hey, I'm still checking on it for you. They haven't got back to me yet. Okay, no problem, Bradley. 2 or 3 days later. Hey, Bradley, have you had a chance to check and see if the water is city or septic? Hey, Courtney. Haven't found out yet, but as soon as I do, I will let you know. Okay, the seller of the home should know if there's a septic tank or not, you know? So have you just not asked them? Are they not responding back to you? What's going on? You know, either way, I shouldn't have to keep reaching out to you to get answers. You should be voluntarily contacting me. Hey, Courtney, just giving you a heads up. Haven't heard back anything yet. When I do, I will let you know. So I shouldn't have to keep going out of my way to contact you. Granted, during this time, I'm over here trying to get approved to even buy the house. Am I messing with the realtor? Hey, is this going okay? What's going on here? And also the lender, so I can get my money. I write him one last time. Hi, Bradley. Any news on the water? Is it septic or city? He writes back and says, the water is city. Got it checked for you. Again, I had to contact him just to get an answer. If they've already told you that the water is through the city, why wouldn't you write me? I've asked you 3 times if it's city or septic. Why not contact me as soon as you found out? So my dad comes over to the house, and him being the nosy person that he is, he's like, I don't believe that the water in that house is city. He's like, I don't think that's correct. So he asks the neighbor that's outside, is your water through city or is it through a septic tank? And the neighbor tells him, my water's through a septic tank. So with something like that, one house in the neighborhood is not going to be septic tank and the house next door is going to be through the city. It's a neighborhood, you know, we all in this together. So he comes home and tells me that. My blood is boiling a little bit, you know, I'm a little, okay, that's okay. So we call JEA, which is our electric company here in Jacksonville, Florida, and ask them, hey, for this home, we give them the address. Is the water through you guys? Is it through the city? Or is it through a septic tank? And JEA tells us it's through a septic tank. So my realtor has now lied to me that he found out that my water is through the city, which was incorrect. So I sent him a message saying, "Good morning. So I spoke with the next door neighbor and I also called JEA. The water is septic. I'm not sure why the seller said it's city or why you told me it was city. I'm a little concerned. Actually, I'm very concerned that somebody is not being honest with me and I'm about to close on a home that I know nothing about. So now I need to know where the septic tank is and when's the last time it was empty. Is that something that you can let me know at least?" He writes me back and he says, "That's weird. I'm on it right now. I'll get more information for you." At this point, I'm shaking. I'm so upset. Again, I'm about to make one of the biggest purchases of my life. And I just feel like I'm stuck. I really love the home at this point. I can't go under contract with it with any other realtor, so I don't know whether to just give up on this home and go try and find another home, whether to push through. I've already invested money into it. He really made the experience harder than it has to be. But to have a realtor who, like I said, I feel like should be your point of contact, should be on your team, should be fighting for you, And I felt like my realtor was never fighting for me. He wasn't on my team, the whole time. And having a good team behind you when you're buying your home, from your lenders to your realtor, the title company, it's so important, you guys. Please hear me when I say that. Find a realtor that you can relate to. At the end of the day, whether it's a small commission or a big commission, realtors are still getting paid from selling you this home or from helping you, buy this home. So moving on, a day or two before you close on your home, you have your final walkthrough of the home. And you just come over to the home, make sure that nothing crazy has happened. Nobody's threw a rock through the window or anything crazy like that. So I was supposed to come do my walkthrough at 6:30, about 2 days before I was supposed to close. And I'm all dressed, I'm ready to do my final walkthrough. And I get a text from Bradley that says, "Hey, Courtney, not gonna be able to make it. My girlfriend is going into labor, so I won't be able to make it, but I'm sending somebody else over to let you in the home and, help you do your final walkthrough." I'm like, okay, congratulations. Like, I hope everything goes good. I'm not heartless. Hope everything goes great with, you and your baby, of course. So I come over, I do the walkthrough. Everything looks fine. There really wasn't much for me to do. 2-3 days go by. It's about time for me to close. I get a call from Bradley and he's like, "Hey, how did your walkthrough go?" And I'm like, "It went good. I have no complaints. How's the baby?" "Oh, she didn't have the baby. She was just having false labor pains." Okay, it happens. It happens. Okay, cool. He's like, "But you ready for closing? It's time to close." It's the morning of my closing at this point, by the way. So he's like, "Are you ready? You hyped?" I'm like, "I am. I'm so excited." At this point, I don't even like him like that. So, but I'm excited because I'm about to close on my home. So I'm like, yeah, like I'm excited. I'm just ready to be done with the process. And he's like, "I'll see you at closing." My closing was scheduled for 4:30. He's like, "I'll see you then." Cool. So I'm sitting there, I'm waiting for him, checking the time. It's getting close time for me to go in. So I'm like, you know what? I'll just go in. I'm sure he'll meet me in there eventually. So I go inside to the title company. The seller of the home is there, his realtor, the title company is there. And they ask me like, "Hey, where's your realtor?" I'm like, "Oh, he's on his way. Don't worry." They got a little chair next to me for good old Bradley. I text him, I'm like, "Hey, Bradley, I'm here. Like, we're waiting for you." No response. I call him, no answer. So the title company is like, "Hey, are you okay with going ahead and getting started?" I'm like, "Yeah, let's get started," And I could tell the seller, he was really sweet. He kind of had this face like awkward. So obviously that must not happen very often for realtors to just not show up to a closing, So I'm sitting there by myself, my first home, confused, scared. But I'm like, you know what? It is what it is. God got me this far. Like, he ain't gonna leave me. So let's do it. I signed all my paperwork and Bradley never showed up. Never saw Bradley again. He didn't show up to my closing. He didn't call me, didn't text me, didn't hear from him. So that was on Friday at 4:30. Saturday comes, Sunday comes, Monday comes, nothing. So Tuesday, I'm a little hot, I have my keys, but You know, right is right, wrong is wrong. So I called the company that he works for and I asked to speak to his supervisor, his manager, whoever owns the company. And the receptionist tells me, okay, well, I will let them know that you want them to give you a call. She asked for the address of my property, who was my realtor, all of that. They had all of my information. That was on Tuesday. The very next day, I think that Wednesday, I get a call from good old Bradley. And Bradley says, hey, Courtney, congratulations on closing. I actually could not make it to your closing because my girlfriend went into labor. Literally, I closed at 4:30 on my home, and I spoke to Bradley at like literally 3:45. So she went into labor within 45 minutes, 30 minutes, something like that of me closing. Somewhere in between there, you can shoot me a quick text. You know, I doubt she went into labor and the baby just fell out, which I still to this day do not believe he had his baby. That, you know, that time, I'm sure by now he's had her. I hope I'm not being insensitive, but I don't believe that that's how it happened. The very next day, I called the company again, speak to the same front desk receptionist. Hey, I left a message for them to give me a call back. It was a couple. Still have not heard from them. And the front desk receptionist like, oh, I'm so sorry. You know, I told Bradley to give you a call. So I figured maybe you wouldn't want to talk to, you know, the owners of the company. I'm like, no, you figured wrong. So I was even more mad. Like, what kind of company are you guys? They called me the next day on Friday. I speak with the husband, I guess, of the company. And he tells me, he already knew as soon as he answered, he's like, first of all, let me say I'm so sorry. You know, I'm so sorry that happened. It should have been handled so differently. How can we make it up to you? There's nothing you guys can make up to me for it. I can't get that day back. You know, it was handled completely wrong unless you guys want to pay my mortgage for a month or two. But other than that, there was nothing they could really do to fix it. You know, there's certain situations where like sorry is not enough, and sorry is, it was one of those situations where sorry was not enough. Not even to be dramatic, you know, but you know, like I'm not crying at night, you know, I don't scribble all over his picture, but it definitely was one of those situations that I feel like could not be made right. I still believe that I was treated, you know, whatever by my realtor because I wasn't buying $1 million home, or, you know, maybe he felt like he wasn't making a big enough commission off of me. From the lies to just lack of communication. It's the last, like, I got my commission, so, you know. So that was my horrible realtor story. They will never get any recommendations out of me. And the point of this video, if you guys take anything, is please be careful with who you pick to be on your team to buy your home. It's such an exciting time. It's a big journey, and it would just be great for you to have a realtor that supports you, that backs you, that's on your team, as well as your lenders. Lucky for me, I had amazing lenders. They answer any of the, you know, financial questions that I needed. I hope you guys took something from this video. Thank you for watching my video. Thank you for coming back to my channel. Please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe before you head out. And I will see you in the next video.